All right, let's go. New York Jets 31, Denver Broncos 21. Jets move to 2-3. Broncos fall to 1-4. And Nathaniel Hackett gets the game ball. Jets offensive coordinator back to Denver and gets the revenge, man.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers knew. You see him tweeting about it?
He knew.
W. Hackett.
Gonna make for great Star Wars memes
See,
this week.
Aaron Rodgers, I feel, is the perfect type of petty to revel in the victory that is, right? Huge W for the Jets. You know, Sean Payton comes out and is like, that's one of the worst coaching jobs ever. Yada, yada. Blowtorches Nathaniel Hackett publicly. You know, he was right, but you don't say that, you know? And saying it, you break that kind of brotherhood and people get upset by it. Rodgers is the kind of like, he's so petty, he's going to remember that and he's going to make sure you know about it. I feel like Robert Saleh missed a trick by not sending Nathaniel Hackett out to do the post-game handshake with Sean Payton. Can you imagine if they'd sent Hackett out to just be like, smug face on, gives the handshake to Payton?
Yeah.
I mean, Payton was
Head coach Aaron Rodgers would do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Payton was blowing up at reporters when they got, blown out by Miami and 70 points, etc. And the reporter was just asking the question. Can you imagine if they'd sent Hackett out to shake hands with the dude who lit him on fire in the postseason?
Is this your idea, or did you see this?
No, it was me. I would have done that. Rodgers 100%
You're
would have done
that level
that.
of petty. You
Oh, yeah.
would have.
Robert Saleh rose above that. He apparently is not that level of petty.
Is this a worse coaching job for the Broncos than Nathaniel Hackett?
I mean, it is on defense, right? This is as bad on defense as Nathaniel Hackett's offense that was incapable of calling plays without getting delay of game.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but on defense. The offense, in a funny twist of fate, is actually dramatically improved.
The offense is funny because, look, Jaleel McLaughlin is like a godsend for this offense, as is Marvin Mims, as we know, right? Two rookies, but McLaughlin has another 22-yard screen for a touchdown.
Yeah.
A 38-yard run in there, a scamper. He only had 9 carries for 68 yards. Like, keep feeding your playmakers the ball, man. I don't know. There was a point in this game where the Broncos just stopped moving the ball. And they continue to have these stretches where the offense kind of disappears for a little bit. But they did get into a comeback opportunity here, and Russell Wilson brought them back within 3 with a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Had a fourth quarter comeback opportunity, and then it was strip sack and fumble 6 for the Jets to go up by 2 scores.
Yeah, the Jets defense just went nuts on that final drive. I mean, they were killing Russell Wilson. Okay,
Jermaine Johnson tracked him down, forced the fumble.
And that was one of those forced fumbles where, it's a good defensive play. They're getting pressure. Russ, it's still one of those plays where you can't really make it if you're the quarterback. You know the pressure's coming. You're trying to outrun it. You don't outrun it. And in addition to not outrunning it, you let them get their hand on the ball and knock it out as well. It's like that's kind of a cardinal sin for a quarter. It's a Daniel Jones play, right? It's a standard Daniel Jones play. He's getting chased down. And in addition to getting the negative play, the sack or the tackle, you also drop the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are times, and look, the Jets defense has a track record now. They made Josh Allen look pretty bad, and they made Mahomes have one of his worst passing games. But there was just points in this game where Russ is just sitting there like deer in headlights in the pocket. So there's either nowhere to go or he's not feeling it, whatever it was. But credit the Jets defense, man. They made a ton of plays. And then credit, I mean, you've got the Broncos rushing stat, but Breece Hall, got the explosive plays back. I know he's not going to run for a 72-yarder all the time, but he seems to have a knack for those big runs. And in the Zach Wilson era, where again Wilson made a few nice plays, but overall, he's not playing great. He didn't play great in this game.
And this was a more standard Zach Wilson game,
I
think.
Against a bad Broncos defense, right?
Yes.
So it's not great coming off the Sunday night deal.
But
he made a few plays down the stretch. But Breece Hall, 177 yards, including the 72-yarder, is huge.
Breece Hall looks fantastic, and people you got to remember he's coming back off an ACL. So even though he was good to go week 1, they had him on a pitch count, and he probably wasn't like 100%. Like it stands to reason that the longer this goes, the better Breece Hall is going to look, and the closer to the rookie Breece Hall. Where remember, he was the guy in pole position for Rookie of the Year before he got hurt, and then Garrett Wilson kind of stepped into that space. I think Breece Hall is going to look really good throughout the course of this year. And remember, like, the Jets' offensive line is still wrecked. It was bad to start with. Guys are getting hurt. Billy Turner and Max Mitchell were in this game. Like, it's a rough spot to be in, which not only does it impact Breece Hall, but that contributes to Zach Wilson not being good as well. Like, let's give the guy a break. He's not working behind the best offensive line in the NFL. But this was a game where I missed some of the start of it. And then, like, check in on the Jets offense. We're 3rd and 21, and Zach Wilson tries to execute a screen, just holds the ball and gets sacked. It's like, oh yeah, okay. So this is still what we're doing, is it? And this is what the offense is going to look like. And then they're driving to get points before halftime and just can't even spike the ball in time. It's like
there was a lot of ugly football.
Yes,
for a while in this one. Buff punt and then that screw up, right?
Yeah, Marvin Mims with a muffed punt. That's not.
Oh, so there was
not helping.
Mims muffed a punt. Then the Jets muffed a punt, and the Broncos come back and run a trick play where they fumble. The whole thing's just bad.
Bryce Huff, I told you this before we went on, has one of the weirdest stat lines I can remember seeing from an edge rusher. 19 pass rushes, 8 pressures, which is a pressure rate of 42%. But a pass rush win rate of just 15.8% because half of those pressures were cleanup plays. So not actually wins when it comes to beating your blocker, but simply getting pressure because somebody got forced in your direction or the offensive lineman's leverage was taken away, or you pursued him late in the play. I don't remember a line like that before. But Bryce Huff continues to be like maybe the best situational pass rusher in the NFL in terms of actually getting production.
Yeah, he's very good. And it was Jermaine Johnson, like I said, he had the game-clinching strip sack, and he had a big game with 2 sacks and the best win rate on the Jets at 25%. So I think that's part of the Jets, too. Johnson had not rushed the passer at that level to this point this year, but he's capable, former first-round pick, and just don't know when you're going to get that type of performance. So the Jets defense is keeping him alive.
The Jets defense was fantastic. I thought Russell Wilson, again, looked noticeably more athletic than previously. This was closer to old Russell Wilson. And, this wasn't the best game he's had. In part, that fumble at the end is a really bad play. But he was going up against the Jets defense, which is the opposite end of the scale from Zach Wilson going up against the Broncos defense. Wilson looked pretty good again. Jerry Jeudy, I thought, had a pretty impressive game. Cortland Sutton randomly didn't have a catch until the 2-minute warning in the game. And then Zach Wilson, remember last week everyone was going nuts over every throw he had for 2 drives was perfect location. It always felt more accidental than by design, in terms of, he isn't that accurate. So if he's doing that 8 times in a row, there's probably a degree of luck involved in that. This game, he ends up throwing an interception because he had the opposite problem. He threw the ball basically to the wrong location inside at Patrick Surtain instead of outside to Garrett Wilson on a play, which again just makes me think that wasn't really in his control when he caught the high end of everyone was perfect.
That was a nice interception.
Yeah, it was a nice interception, but it was one of those plays that's only on the table because the ball location was bad.
Yeah, it left it inside for sure. Then when the Jets needed big plays, Tyler Conklin with a big 37-yarder, looking like Gronk down the field.
You with your anti-rugby hate. What I love is, that play, you get the catch, you get the rumble yards after the catch by the tight end, then you generally get the receivers join in to try and the rolling maul. The receivers join in to start adding their weight, and then if the play lasts long enough, the linemen make it. There's 2 or 3 linemen that were watching the play and going, oh, we can get to that. If we run now, we'll get there before he stopped. Let's go. Saddle up, boys. So that play was one of those ones where it lasted long enough, and then right at the end, 3 offensive linemen piled in, and now we've got a rolling maul, baby.
Just pushing Zach Wilson's passer rating forward. Is what they're doing.
Yep.
Pushing it forward.
Pushing EPA.